Audio Malax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Okay. There, now stop complaining about my boots. I think we got a little hardware here. And I might head back over to the traders today. Really, really need to get my hands on a wrench. That is my goal. I need those mechanical parts. I'm pretty sure I searched this hardware. So, might just end up running past it here. Which will be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, I've been rewatching Bleach. I never finished Bleach, but I always liked it. I just you know, my entertainment ADD kicks in and I get distracted by something else. I made it into the, I don't know, 100 something episodes in. It's like over 300, almost 400 episodes long. I think it's almost 400 episodes long now with the new series, which is the sequel to the ending. Well, it's based off a manga, right? And so then they caught up to the manga or something, and so they were waiting for the manga to finish, and the manga is finally finished, and so they've been doing the end of the story. It's kind of interesting because I didn't think it was gonna get one. I mean, I knew the manga was going to finish the story. Well, I assumed the manga was going to finish the story, but there was a lot of craziness with the animated series, because it seems to me, if I remember correctly, the studio that made the original Bleach ended up losing the rights to it or something like that, and so they went through like several different studios that were gonna finish it, and so it's pretty crazy. They came back and picked up, I believe, basically where the previous one left off. I don't know because I didn't finish the previous one, and I don't know. I don't like to know. I don't want to know. I don't know what happens, and so I don't really know a whole lot about the end of Bleach. But yeah, so I've been watching that again, and about 40 episodes in now. And man, whew, that episode 40 was awesome. We're reaching one of my favorite points, or my favorite moments in what I've seen. It comes up real quick, and I forgot how good the fight scenes are with some of the battles that take place at the current arc. There's this character named Yorichi, and I don't remember. I'm rewatching it in the subtitled version because I originally watched it in the English dub, because I originally watched it on like Cartoon Network or something, and so which is probably another reason that I didn't finish it, because you know, you watch it when they release it in seasons, versus waiting for it all to be out and just watching it in a marathon. I'm more likely to get through a marathon than I am to get through a seasonal release. Although I'm doing real good, I'm doing half good on Crunchyroll now that I've got Crunchyroll on keeping up with stuff. Uh, Although lately, since I started watching Bleach again, I've not been keeping up on my shows. But I'm sure I'll get there. But yeah, so you got Yoririchi, and like I said, I'm watching this subtitled, so I don't remember if Yoririchi sounded like a man in the English version, but in the Japanese version, Yoririchi is voiced by a man. I don't know if her voice changes, but there's a really funny part coming up that I really like, where the whole series up to this specific point, Yoririchi looks like a black cat, and uh, there are people that know what Yoririchi actually looks like, but nobody tells the main characters what Yoririchi actually looks like, and so they think Yoririchi is just a basically talking black cat, right? So there's this hilarious moment where uh uh yes, I need to go south. Man, this trader is way down here. Where the main character, he's gonna get super injured coming up here. He might already be super injured, honestly, in the episode I just watched. I can't remember how the rest of the fight goes down. I forgot how good the fight between Ichigo and Kenpachi the first time is. Um, and so after the battle's over, Ichigo is basically almost dead. Ichigo's the main character, if you haven't watched Bleach. And so this character, Yoririchi, who looks like a black cat, takes Ichigo to a place to heal. And there's this funny moment where Ichigo and, if I remember it right, because it's been a while, Ichigo and Yoririchi, oh, look, it was a schematic, are talking, and Ichigo is in the hot tub, not the hot tub, but the hot springs, healing. And then Yoririchi transforms into her female form and climbs in the hot tub with him, and that just cracks me up. It cracks me up when she does that. Because Ichigo, of course, freaks out, thinking that she's been a man this whole time. Um, it's such a funny moment. Because she spends the whole time sounding like a man and looking like a black cat, so he just thinks she's a black cat. Uh, but yeah, that's the anime I've mostly been watching. We've been keeping up on Dragon Ball Daima. The last episode was pretty funny that I watched. Um, good old Goku. Good old Goku going, "Hey, I need to eat my hamburgers in the middle of a fight." That was super funny. That is a big ugly spider climbing onto my VR equipment right now. Big spider. You're not building the web there, buddy. I'll be getting rid of you as soon as I'm done recording here. It's really big. It looks like it's about, it's got big, long, skinny legs, but it also has a big, fat, round body. It's gross. Super gross. I don't like it. As long as it stays over there, and I can take care of it when I'm done with this. Gross. It's getting cold, and I've noticed that several spiders have crawled in from the air conditioner, around the air conditioner in my window, because I think we've almost reached the point I can take it out of the window, but how can you tell? How can you tell when it's time to take the air conditioner out of the window when this week was 50 degrees, I think, on Monday? By the time we got to Wednesday and Thursday, it was in the high 70s. And then today, yesterday, it was in the mid to high 70s. I think it was 77 was the high. And today, the high is 45 degrees. The high is 45 degrees, and the high yesterday was 77 degrees. What the heck?
What's your problem?
My problem is, I don't have a
Test
wrench.
my patience. It's thinner than your wallet.
Great. How thin is my wallet? I have 200. Oh, that is pretty thin. That is pretty thin. What is this? Surface cooling increases the rate of dew collector. Okay. Is this also for the dew collector? Oh, it is. Huh, interesting. I am not seeing... Great. So you don't have... You don't have mechanical parts? And you don't have a wrench.
Well, there's the fucking door. Why don't you use it?
I'm gonna use it, buddy. You didn't have what I need. Have I been to another... What's this over here? It's a long trek. I'm gonna trek it, though. And then next week, I think tomorrow is supposed to be back into the mid to high 50s. And next week, I want to go. Next week we're back up into the 50s most days. So yeah, you know, 50s is in the 50s is cold enough to pull out the AC for sure. It's those days where it hits like 70 plus degrees. It gets too warm down here. Especially if I've got any kind of game running in my my GPU kicks on, you know, starts roasting me out. I noticed some of the games I've been playing lately are way tougher on it or maybe the CPU, one of the two, and so my computer starts spewing out all this hot air, which it normally doesn't do. And then, you know, I get on the old thing checking it, and it's like, yep. Temperatures are okay, which means it's just my cooler is kicking out tons of air, which is supposed to, which is its job. So appreciate, you know, I should probably check these for eggs. But we had what, yesterday was Halloween. I didn't do anything for Halloween. Ever do anything for Halloween? I was a kid. I probably went trick-or-treating a few times. My family wasn't really big on the whole Halloween thing. We just I don't think we've ever had someone come to the house that wasn't friend or family member with their kids to get trick-or-treat candies. We buy them, which is, you know, nice, because nobody's going to eat them but us. Haha. But yeah, we don't get the trick or treaters. I used to be way more rural than I am now, but even now I'm like halfway between two towns. You know, nobody's taking their kids 6 miles. I wonder if this is a that looks like cornfield. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Like 6 miles in between the two towns, so nobody brings their kids out that far for trick or treating. But my niece went into town with one of her friends to do some trick or treating, and so she dressed up as Carrie this year. So they got her a dress and then dumped half a gallon of. Think they said they use like acrylic paints over, and so she was fitting the part pretty good. And then today, my sister was out grocery shopping. No, I don't know if she was grocery shopping. I don't know what she was doing. I think she was candy shopping. Because now that they stocked up on so much candy, more than they normally have, today is the big sale on candy. And I'm pretty shocked. She managed to get 6 big bags of peanut butter M&Ms, which are my favorite candy. I mean, that's a crazy deal. It was half off regular bags of peanut butter M&Ms. Like not the little fun size ones, like actual regular, not the big party bags, but the next size down from that. 6 of them, half off. That's crazy. She probably saved like, I mean, saved. Let's. She probably spent. Let's be fair now. She probably spent about $25 on those bags, but she saved $25 on those bags. So yeah, we were watching through the Conjuring movies. That's what we've been doing with most of our time. Most of my free entertainment time this last weekend here. Um, like I said before, my niece is really into the horror movie stuff, and so she's always wanting to watch horror movies. And um, the problem is that a lot of the horror movies that I like are not really appropriate for children. I mean, even beyond the violence and stuff. So, uh, you know, probably not gonna sit down and watch Hellraiser with the niece anytime soon. You know, even though Hellraiser is one of my favorite. Um, but yeah, so we were powering through The Conjuring pretty quick. We watched all three of The Conjuring. We've watched all three of Annabelle's. And we watched the first Nun. So I think we've got. I feel like there's another movie. There's. Um. Just wanted to check their gun wall here real quick. Oh well. Somebody already checked their gun wall. Um. Yeah, I'm still headed west. Yeah, so I think there's the Nun 2, obviously. And then there's the Curse of La Llorona is related, but not directly. And then I think there's one other one I haven't seen yet. I don't think I've seen the Curse of La Llorona. I might have. I think I just know the story of La Llorona. Um, I'm not sure. I think La Llorona is the woman that kills her kids in the bathtub. But I don't know if I've seen the movie or if I've just read about the story. Uh, but I was reading through and like it's not. So most of the Conjuring movies, well, the Conjuring movies are related to Ed and Lorraine Warren. Um, and so they're tied in with like Annabelle and the Amityville house, which they haven't done an Amityville house story. So I think I read they were going to do one, but they haven't done one yet. And so there are characters from the Conjuring movies and the Annabelle movies that are in the Curse of La Llorona, but I don't believe Ed and Lorraine Warren are part of the Curse of La Llorona. And then there's one other one apparently that has the police guy from one of the movies as that character in another horror movie that's also not related. So I don't remember what that one was, but I'll have to track that one down. I have to check out the Insidious. I seem to remember liking the Insidious movies. I kind of want to watch. I don't think anybody will like it, but I kind of want to watch the Paranormal Activity movies with her. But I'm not a phone guy, and everybody in my house is, and so when we do stuff, then I'm doing it. But when they do stuff, they're only a quarter paying attention to whatever it is we're doing because the rest of the time they're just on their phones. Like they'll sit there to watch a movie, and then they'll get out their phones and just be staring at their phones the whole time while the movie's playing. And I'm just like, that's not fun. Like, how can you watch a horror movie and not pay attention to the screen? Um, you know? And yeah, here, buddy. And Paranormal Activities, if you've never seen the Paranormal Activities, they are excellent one-time watchers. Uh, which sounds terrible, but what I mean by that is like the Paranormal Activities aren't so much about um being a story as they are being first-person hauntings kind of things. And so, once the things happen, I don't know how good the movie would be to watch again. Um, I really enjoyed them. One of them's okay, but most of them are pretty good. I really like the first one, and oh, dude, I just took out your buddy with one stab to the face. Ow! It's a good thing you don't take me out with one swat to the face, because I'd be dead 100 times over instead of just a dozen times over. But yeah, they're pretty good. They get a little weirder toward the end of the. I don't know if they're doing it anymore, but toward the end of the series, they're not as good necessarily. Toward the end of the series, they get more into story, I guess. But the first one, I think there's one that's like. There's a bunch of them, and I don't remember how many there are. And So like the first one I think is the best. And then there's one, this is what I remember. Okay. There's one about a guy who, jeez. One about a guy who videotapes things, like he's a videographer. And so everything's on his VHS tapes. And I remember liking that one, except I did laugh a lot at one point where like the room was tilting and stuff. I thought that was, I don't know, it just made me laugh a lot. And not at the, I don't think I was laughing at the movie. I think I was just laughing because I thought that part was funny. And I did like that one, the VHS one. There's one though where they like, they do this thing where you can turn your Xbox into some kind of diagnostic mode, and it shoots out like little green lasers everywhere. Oh god, never like seeing one of those. It shoots out little green lasers everywhere, and so they like use that to show where the spirits are at one point. I didn't think that one was as good. It I just, the first one's like really creepy, but it's a slow, quiet movie where not a lot happens until it does. And it's more of a, you know, a build up kind of a scary thing. And so I don't think my niece would stay and pay attention to it because, you know, she barely pays attention to things that have story now. But I mean, my sister's the same way. We talked. I think I talked about the other day. I moved the big storm. I moved the kitchen television down into my bedroom so I could put it in front of my exercise stuff, and that's what I do. I watch Bleach and exercise, and so that's why I've started watching Bleach again, because I've got to set up where I am paying attention. And well, gotta say, I don't know what I was expecting from this place, but one of the best loot here, even though I am now packed up with loot. Did not find a wrench. Okay, well, I want to hit the back of this place. Just down the road here to see if this road goes anywhere. Or just parking lot. Man, I cannot remember how many Paranormal Activity movies there are. I know there's, the first one is about this woman and her fiance, boyfriend. And then the second one is about her sister. And then I think the third one is I don't know if the third one is the VHS one or the Xbox one. And then they're vice versa there. And then there's one with like a Hispanic family at an apartment building, which ties back into the others, but again turned into more of a story and less of the haunting stuff. And I don't know if there's another one besides those. So that's like what, 5? I just, after the first one, they get more storied and it's less creepy haunting and more, you know, horror movie-esque. Well, I got so much stuff in my inventory now. How much, can I just leave? Probably keep that. What if I do that? What if I go like this and I go like that? I just save that waypoint there to let me know that I left a bunch of stuff in a minivan. Okay. Maybe I should stop trying to walk over top of zombies, to stab them in the face and start going around. Oh. Love them concrete-sided trailers. Alright, well, I think this is probably where I call it for today. So, with that, we run the small things, lean the light. I will talk to you later.